Thank you, Max. Welcome. You guys didn't come to this table. We were gonna move some stuff around, but we didn't quite have the time to do it. So you can sit or stand. It's very important. Okay. Thank you for being here.
Okay, well, while Max starts that, I will go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Kyle Nichols. I am the ASB Vice President. I'm also the Vice President of the Banks FFA chapter.
I am James Bartholomew, and I am not anything with ASB. I am the FFA chapter sentinel and technical director of the FAB Club. Hopefully president soon, but.
Okay.
So we'll start off with our homecoming festivities. We had a very successful Friday with our assembly, parade, and football game. Our varsity football boys beat Rainier 44-0. We had a massive student show up for the homecoming dance, which was in the elementary school cafeteria and gym. Kylie Long was crowned our homecoming queen at the football game halftime show, and our juniors won the homecoming overall.
So next week, our FFA nursery and landscape team are going to nationals in Indianapolis because last year they won state for nursery and landscape. So we will be leaving Saturday next week for the FFA national conventions in Indianapolis. There are going to be a bunch of things there that are going to really help our FFA students make connections with new careers, because there's this giant job fair, and just get to meet new people, learn about new chapters, how they operate, and help improve our own chapter.
How many people are going?
We have 4, 5, 6,
8 students and then the 2 executives. As far as sports go, our girls soccer beat Westside Christian 9-1 on Tuesday, and also played Trout Lake on Thursday for their senior night. Boys soccer lost 1-7 to Tillamook on Wednesday. Volleyball lost 0-3 to Corbett on Wednesday, and Thursday they played Danville Carlton. The cross country team participated in a race at Rose City Golf Course on Friday, but last but not least, on Friday, football played Kennedy.
So our fabrication and design club has been working really hard to produce the school-wide news, which is a video of the news on YouTube that we make. And it has, like you can see right there, it has 2 anchors, Braves news background, all the fun things, and then we basically read the announcements and add in our own special segments about things that are happening at the school that week. Like this week, we had one on volleyball and cross country. Then we've also been broadcasting we broadcast the homecoming football game and plan on it, broadcasting the football game this Friday to our YouTube channel, Banks Braves. And later in the year, we also plan on broadcasting the basketball games.
All of the Braves news are also uploaded to that same YouTube channel if any of you guys are interested in watching those.
Cool.
How often do you have Braves news?
Once weekly. All right, I think that's it. Thank you for letting us present again.
Thank you. I love the broadcasting. I love listening. When I was home, I couldn't come down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your going to the national.
Yeah. Now, when do they leave for Indianapolis?
Monday.
Great. Oh my gosh, I love our effort.
This will be something that most people don't believe, but I was actually an FA advisor for the students when I lived in Saipan, which is in the South Pacific. And I brought this whole group of kids that had never been off of their islands all the way to Louisville. So, awesome job.
Our chapter has not won a state competition, qualified for nationals in 12 or 16 years. Around there.
You should be so proud.
Well, we're thank you.
Do the non recognition. I'll go ahead and take this one. As always, want to recommend we have staff that serves over 1,000 students, another 120 staff members. In particular, this week is National School Lunch Week, and we just want to acknowledge and formally thank our district food service staff. They are technically excellent employees, but they certainly they're part of our community. They do a great job just, making sure that our students feel valued and that their students feel catered for. And we have a couple, people have been here a while, not really too many rookies, but we have Sheila Dale, who's our kitchen manager at the elementary school here. Scott George, our cook, is 16th year. Cammy over at BMS Kitchen is in her 10th year. And Sadie, our high school kitchen manager, has been here for 4 years. And just the exciting piece, remember that all school meals this year are available free to our students. There's no charge to the family. And if should you read this or not, but a 92% increase for breakfast and a 50% lunch. Imagine if any of these students are like my son, that's 2 lunches, one we pack for a mandatory school lunch probably sometimes, but we're super grateful to our food service staff for taking the lead on all that increased participation, predicting how much food to have, and we're not sure who's gonna take it or not, and how those streets then. Just making sure their kids are well fed and fueled for better health and academic performance. So, just appreciate our food service folks.
And I mentioned to Brian about food service today. When I was over at the elementary, I noticed that the elementary school is having like a competition, like how much does the pumpkin weigh and a couple of things too. So she really works hard to make it like a space where kids really want to come and be there. It goes above and beyond. Yeah, I noticed that thing.
Right.
She also came in on Friday to take the delivery on her day.
She came in pretty well.
She came in on her day off last Friday to receive a delivery, a big food delivery.
You're always welcome to come by and have some school lunch if you wanna try it out, see, remember what it tastes like. You can set that up for you, have lunch with the board members in the cafeteria. Moving on to audience. None, I don't think so, sorry, I didn't see you drop one off there. So the superintendent's report, you can read the full report, I know the thing. Sue, would you like some water? Okay.
Shoot.
Thank you, sorry, didn't mean to call you. My report goes into a few exciting things, and I know we've been talking about a lot, so I do want to keep it brief, but I'm still compelled to read the first one out loud, though, audience is mostly just us, but the first line in our policy AC. It's actually the second policy listed as the first policy. It's also known as all students belong. It states the district prohibits discrimination and harassment on any basis. While the national climate is doing little to prevent such harassment, I believe we should expect more out of ourselves, our community, and our region. Unfortunately, this past month has seen the power of racist action used to harass students and families across our region, in our community, and in our school. Multiple. While these incidents do not seem to be coordinated, they share a common thread. The use of language and monikers that strike fear to the core of our family. As we have worked to support our families for what they continue to endure, we also must continue to educate our community so that we can remain true to prohibiting harassment on any basis. Most of the students involved in perpetuating these incidents have taken responsibility for their role and continue to lean into uncomfortable dialogue and in support of learning and growing as a community. I do want to commend our athletic programs for lending support to the impacted families and leading by example through change. I believe there are many reasons to be very proud of the brave experience that we are creating. However, incidents of racial or any other bias are not sources of pride. For me, they're embarrassments. And for others, they are a source of fear that I will never know. I call on this community to be a leader in the region, a leader in the state, and a leader in the country by listening to understand, looking out for one another, and interrupting harmful acts from their work. Thank you for allowing me to read that. I think that we had a tough week last week as far as belonging, but I know we're doing a lot to repair and doing a lot to look forward. So I appreciate Stewie, I appreciate the support of the board. I won't go into detail in the rest of this report for a sense of time, but I as always.
Thank you, Brian. Moving on to the financial report.
And looking at the month of September, the total expenditures for the month came out 1,066,147. Of that total expense, 86% of that is salary and benefits. I compared that to last year, 2024, September, and it's about 5% increase to where we were last year. I reconciled the ABM estimate or enrollment, and I'm happy to report that our estimates are where our current enrollment is right now. And I will continue to monitor that. We are currently being audited. We're definitely doing that, and it sounds like it's coming to an end. Any questions?
Thank you for watching the numbers through. It's a pretty big deal. Welcome. I know Dustin was here last month.
Yeah.
So your first go by yourself.
Yeah.
Was there any other questions on the finance?
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Moving on to the consent decree. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Moving on to action. Division 20.
Yeah, so if you recall, every October, we go through what's called the Division 22 assurances, and sometimes they're more detailed presentation than others. Just as a reminder, the Division 22 is just what's collectively known as all the OARs that really define how a public school must operate and teach, kind of all of things that go in a school. The reason that this is a pretty short presentation is during this assurances, you either, any that you're for last year that we're not following, and it's not good like break the law, but there's usually a good reason for it. You present what's called a corrective plan of action that's accepted by the Department of Education, and you discuss with the board and community what you're doing later. Happy to report during the school year 2023-24, we were in compliance with all of the Division 2 regulations. So rather than go through them one by one, you see them in the report, but every one of them says that we are meeting them. Not a lot new for this year. For last, excuse me, for this current year, there are a couple new ones that we'll need to be reporting on next year. One is financial literacy has to be a standalone class. Spoiler alert, we are in compliance with that. We're also developing a plan for it's a little bit of a career pathways, standards and requirements. That was a little tricky because the state board has not yet said if that is a standalone class or not. We're advocating for it not to be a standalone class, but it may end up going. And then again, for this current school year, we'll report on you guys next year. But the only other one is curriculum adoption. We know we're adopting health right now. We just know that it's a sensitive topic. I talked, Darla is leading the process, and I just talked to her that it's a sensitive topic. It's one that needs to be done well, done right. If that happens to take in fall of next year, that's okay. We won't know until we get way further into the spring. It'll be updated on the course. And then. And again, I'm not saying for sure that will be the case. It's just many times you can't get a document done where, you can get sent to meetings and opportunities for doing that. With that though, again, what you do need to make a motion on is this report, accepting the assurances for school year 2023-24, again, which we are in compliance for. Questions?
So, if someone wants to make a motion.
I make a motion to accept the report outlining the assurances in 2023-2024.
All in favor? Aye. That's unanimous. Moving on to approval CMGC.
I'll go ahead and read that one, if you can see on the board book, the bank school district solicited, construction manager, general contractors, CMDC proposals for high school as part of the 2024 bond program with the issuance of request for proposal. The RFP was advertised on August 16th in the Journal of Daily Commerce, proposals received on September 12th. 9 proposals were received that expressed interest in the RFP associated with 2024 school bond. 4 firms were selected by the district appointed evaluation committee for interviews. Those interviews happened on 9/25. That was PNC Construction, Triple Wellman, Kirby Nagelhout, and Bremick Construction. The interview committee was Chair Frame, Board Member Moore, Superintendent Sika, High School Principal Jacob Pence, Vice Principal Ben Buchanan, Maintenance Supervisor Dale Burden, Julie Condon from Brick Architecture, and both John Abel and Casey Cunningham from Cornerstone Management. The district interview committee is recommending PNC Construction. The staff is recommending to you that you approve PNC Construction for CMGC services on the Prince High School project utilizing 2024 bond funds. The contractors will be negotiating and reviewed by.
I move that we act on the administration's recommendation.
Second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Before you go to the closing item.
On this motion or, oh, sorry, Ron, what was the final vote on that?
I haven't made a vote.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll say yes. Passes unanimously. Coming up on the. Brian, do you want to go through the? Moving items? All right.
Well, no, that's fine, I just want to take it, well, I wasn't actually.
Yeah, and so you were making your comments, I apologize for making a mistake. Could you just give me or give us a couple of examples of specific steps that have been taken in regard to the incident?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for asking. Well, so you gotta be a little careful, right, in a place like this where names are probably well known to protect, student privacy, but so. I think first and foremost, staff, both athletic and school-based, met with family that, actually not all families that were impacted, but first with the family that maybe that sort of were directed. Met with them multiple times, both in person and over the phone. It's really help understand from them everything from their level of involvement moving forward to what they, how it felt, how it understood, how to. Same with, working with students, broadly, and then we talked about this briefly in the work session, adjusted our student handbook. To include bias incidents in the specific item. We, also, we talked about the T-cell standards. As far as the way to educate. And then we've also required, so that something requires to. Going fine so far. Required the students who were, and students who would think it's okay to utilize any kind of hate speech to do some lessons on not only history of the word and how that can impact families in ways that maybe they didn't even intend for them. So about like the impact of that, even if they're intent to make it things. And so, yeah, so I think that's going to be something.
So in general, how would you summarize the families? How would you characterize their feeling or reacting?
Well. I certainly, I don't know, but I can tell you what they said.
Were they receptive to our?
Very, very much.
And everybody's gonna ask about the kids who were involved. Was there in general a recognition of that being corporate, or was it?
In general, it's not exclusively, but in general. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Just those upcoming dates, I think, Marissa, you're on the books, you're coming to the legislative roadshow this Thursday. And I did clarify, at least under OSBA's council, being that we're not talking about district specific things, you all will show up without us needing to worry about public meetings, so again, if anyone's interested in this Thursday, the School Board Association Legislative Roadshow, I think that went out,
Do you need, to give a head count?
I need to RSVP for you. Would you like to go?
Yeah, get you, second.
that's at the ESP. 6 o'clock. Parent conference is coming up on the 7th of November. And just a reminder for y'all calendars. Next board meeting is November 12th, which is a Tuesday because of the federal holiday. It for upcoming items.
Thanks, Brian. Move on to 7.2 for board comments. Dan, let's start on this.
Thanks, Rob. Just with the update that we got tonight from the students, it's one of those. The additional things that are going on. I really kind of wanted to ask them what their project was that got into it's. I think that would be interesting to find out. I really appreciate the response and the quickness of the response to the incident that happened this last week. It's really great to know that we're not, sweeping things under the rug, even though they may be difficult and, our community can learn from it, our students can learn from it. I think that's really important for them to make it right, but hopefully something good comes out of that. It's interesting to kind of feel the dynamic of the board, and I would say in general about the, kind of the whole building and this building and dealing with that. I really found that it's kind of interesting. I think that, for these types of things, I wish we would have more time. And, clearly Ron was, had more information and more thought about this. I feel like, in the future, it would be nice to maybe get more information out there and, so that we can actually think about these things, not have to react to them, in real time. So I would appreciate that a lot, moving forward, especially with something this.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, I want to thank everyone for all the good well wishes that I've received and flowers and he was ready and it was time. So also, I was talking to some friends and maybe we shouldn't get through because Frank's always wins in the mud. So anyway, that's but it's wonderful that we have another winning season on our. I want to think about this little incident that happened. I was incensed, absolutely incensed. I couldn't even talk. I just couldn't believe it. But I believe that our students need to be held accountable. But we all do for our actions. And if we follow through as a school district, we're going to have stronger kids and they're going to understand ramifications and what can happen. And when you're an adult, it's a lot harder. So I appreciate the school district and the families. Everybody seems to be doing okay with it. So I mean, complicated it happened, but I'm glad that things are proceeding. And I don't even know all the ins and outs. And I love our food service. I've often told Brian that I would love it if we could just hire our own, like these people work for us. And, I think they would get a lot more benefit, cost us a lot more money, I'm sure. But when we used to do that, it was wonderful. When our lunch people and even our janitors, everybody just worked for the school district, and we were all for one and one for. But you know what? When I think of Sheila and the others, they put their whole heart into this. And we're lucky, we're really lucky to have them. They made a good experience for our kids. So what else do you have here to say? And I appreciate everyone on this. I'm very privileged to be with such wonderful people who care about our kids.
First of all, Leslie, I'm so sorry. For your loss. And I've been losing my stuff.
Yeah, well, he was 82 years old. He lived a good full life. And it's just that, you know, life just took him down the last couple.
I also. What's said about the incident that occurred. And then the reaction was great. You know. Kids are gonna do stupid things. I like them to do it here in high school while we're around them and can react appropriately. And like you say, it's our responsibility to act appropriately. And I'm really pleased and proud of the way you did react and that you reacted, Brian. I don't know all the details. I think sincerity is the biggest and most important thing, and I know that came out. And like I said, I'm not about protecting kids. I'm about preparing them and helping them. And this is an opportunity. We do tremendous good things. All of the roadmap stuff that you're doing, Brian, and all the goals are just tremendous. And they're great. But where the rubber meets the road is when, pardon my French, it hits fan. When we react, and it tests who we've been up to date, and it tests who we will be, and it shows us where we need to go. So, you know, sad those things happen, but they happen everywhere. I'm glad they happen here. Not glad, but it's glad we have a chance to do it. I do appreciate the support. I've said before, this is without question the strongest and most professional and most effective and most committed board collection of people on board that I've ever been on in the school district and otherwise. And it's a pleasure to be able to work with you all. So, and also that the success of the FFA and the rest of the excitement that goes on around the district is really rewarding. So, those women are kicking the crap out of it. Thanks.
I just will echo the sentiment of my fellow board members. Just I really truly appreciate you all. It's a huge honor to be here and to learn from you and with you as we go through this interesting shifting of cultures in this district. I will acknowledge that since this is Indigenous Peoples Day, the October14 people and the California band who have been towards the language for ever. And I look forward to bringing in more of the tribes of the ground with how we can bridge Indigenous wisdom with the modern world. I think there's a lot that we can learn, and I know that we have a commitment to teaching Indigenous history of the peoples here, but I think there's so many things we can do that would be beneficial for human learning in the future. So many levels. And I wanted to really point out, Brian, when we were looking at your superintendent goals, I just really appreciate your ability to be so innovative and just your ability to reimagine assessment within our district, but also within your goals. I think that's really powerful. And I really appreciate your commitment to doing that, because you're like, well, everyone does this, but we can do something different. And I think that just translates to a really powerful tool for growth individually. I really appreciate you for doing that. And I think that just as an example, like the course of action that we will also took right away with the incident that happened, I think that shows how we can align with school culture, this idea of all students belonging, to helping implement when that's still so eloquently said, but it is the thing, right? And that's it. So, I know that we're dealing with, again, cultural shift. I know there are things happening in other communities close to us, the university I work at, things happening there, and then it's happening in our community. And like Will said, it's not fun, we don't want it to happen, but if we can use this as an opportunity to help these kids grow and learn, that's our job. And I really commend the district, the families involved, I'm sorry, and the kids that participated in this, hopefully they are learning from it and growing. And I appreciate the tough decisions that some of our faculty and trustees in regard to all of that. And I appreciate you, Darla, and all the research that you're doing, bringing the focus groups. I think we're just in a really positive trajectory despite the setbacks, right? We're always going to have those. But I just think that this idea of the statement that you read, Brian, of all students belong here, as a board, we have as people, I would have applauded, but it's not exactly appropriate. Okay, so just appreciate everyone here and to our food service people who are feeding my children extensively now. Sorry for all the increased workload, but we really appreciate you. So thank you.
Chris. I guess lastly, it's already been a long meeting. We have so much going on with the bond project that we've talked about, meetings, all of it. And we have our social issues that we're dealing with as a community. So as a board member, it's hard to kind of categorize where to put that stuff. It's all equally important. But I'm going to start with the bond project. We did have a community meeting and we had pretty good representation. There were 17 people or so, a wide variety of individuals that came and listened to both Brick and Brick did the presentation. So that outreach is taking place, and so that was a good turnout. One of the participants of our community, West Winship, was there, and he has a long history in construction and to recognize the qualifications of the people that we hired. So that was encouraging that the choices that we're making is being recognized by other experts in the industry that are making wise choices. So that's helpful, and that was reassuring. So despite what my statements tonight, I do have faith in Brick and what they're doing, what they're proposing, and for all the committee for Cornerstone PNC. On the other hand, with what happened in our community, one of the things that I recall going to a sporting event, I heard the crowd chanting, "We are Bank Springs." And I heard that again at assemblies and so forth. What strikes me so much on those words, "We are Bank Springs." And Brian, we mentioned that to you and you quantified what that means, happy and proud. And for me, when you say we, that is inclusive of all of us. And so if people are using that, the term "we are Bank Springs," then also discouraging others in our community, I don't know how we can still use those terms, "we are Bank Springs." So as a time of reflection on the choices of words that we're using, I hope everyone recognizes that we can't say what was said on one hand and then also say we are Bank Springs. So I'm encouraged again, like everyone else, with the actions of the district and the family that it happened to. I can't even try to put myself in their shoes, but let them know how much I appreciate them and how they've responded in this terrible situation better than I would, for sure. So with that, I'll go ahead and adjourn. Thank you, everyone.